Exotic ducks farming is quickly picking up in Kenya. This is due to the numerous challenges being faced by ordinary poultry farming, such as intensive labor, high cost of feeds, diseases, and so on. On our show today, we feature Ziwani Poultry Farm. Ziwani Farm specializes in rearing of chicken, ducks, and also offers hatchery services. On today's show, we will focus on exotic ducks farming, where the managing director of Ziwani Poultry, Mr. Harun Kimani, will be taking us through the nitty-gritty of ducks farming.
We do 7 different duck breeds. We have Pekin, which is popular, mainly Asian community, they like their meat. We do Ruben, we have black Swedish, blue Swedish, we have runner ducks, and we have Kakikambo, which is mainly for eggs. We hatch around 500 ducklings per week. Well, that's all the 6 breeds. And we brood them here. Some we sell a day old, and then some a month old and older.
Duck meat is slowly taking over Uganda's dining tables as well as most hotels and supermarkets in Kampala. The demand is so high that one needs to book in advance if it's to get a kilogram of duck meat. Kenyans are, however, more reluctant in duck farming. Harun, who is now 6 years old in poultry farming, urges farmers to open up to duck farming as it is a lucrative and rewarding venture.
I'm an engineer by profession, but I love farming and mainly animals, but I concentrate with just poultry. I love poultry because the return is quick. Unlike cows, you have to wait for maybe years before you see maybe a baby. Chicks, they grow fast, so your returns, you get your returns quickly. And it's easy to rear them anyway. When it comes to diseases, if it's sick and you notice early, you treat them within a day, 2 days, it's all good. Unlike cows, they will take maybe a week, 2 weeks. And the meat is quite tender, it's lovely. Because Pekin, if you rear it properly, you can slaughter it in less than 2 months. Around 50 days, you'll have your 2 kg, so it's good.
He emphasizes that the start need not be big as the birds reproduce quite fast. The eggs are laid within 3 to 4 months and can be incubated to give more ducklings.
I've got a connection in mainly UK, so I used to bring my own eggs from outside, and that's how I've grown. So you don't need a lot to start. Even a farmer, when they come, okay, they're a little bit pricey, but you don't need to start with a lot. If you start with even 5. I also do the Muscovy, which is the normal kienyeji that we're used to. But when it comes to business, you're not going to do good business with that, because it would lay maybe 20, 25 eggs, and then it will sit on the eggs for 35 days. And then you start looking after the young ones for another maybe a month and a half. So by the time you start laying again, if you had Pekin, you would have been laying for that 3 months. We have a lot of people that do incubation services. So when you compare the normal kienyeji, the ones that we're used to, the duck, it's called Muscovy, with the ones that we have here, the Pekins, we have Kakikambo, black Swedish. The ones that I have here, they don't sit on the eggs, so they don't go broody. You're going to, by the time the kienyeji one hatches and then looks after the young ones, you'd have made a lot of money from the ones that we have. Even us, we do incubation services. So if you buy from us, even if you don't buy from us and you have your own eggs, you can bring and we incubate for them, for you. So this is our hatchery. We have 3 machines. One is 19,200 capacity, 19,200 eggs. Duck eggs takes 28 days, while chicken egg will take 21 days. So chicken egg will take 3 weeks, duck eggs 4 weeks. Our main business here is chicken, so we have a lot of duck eggs, chicken eggs, but we have all sorts of birds here. You have quail eggs, you have duck eggs, chicken eggs, and we put them accordingly. So, yeah.
Like chicks, ducklings also require proper ventilation in the brooding stage to regulate temperature and remove carbon dioxide, ammonia, and other gases.
You have to keep them in a brooder. Well, not quite as chicks, because ducklings, they pour water quite a lot. So you have to put them in a place that it's well draining and a lot of water. When you're looking at ducklings, they will need a lot of water. So water 24 hours. Give them water 24 hours. Obviously, from a day old to a week old, we've said they need heating. So you're the mom. So you have to make sure they're fed, water, and the heating is very important because you don't want them to die of cold. So you keep them under heating for a week.
Ducks are very handy birds and they need less care or management. They can adapt themselves with almost all types of environmental conditions. Ducklings need to be fed with chick mash for a month and then fed with growers. A mature duck is ready to be consumed from the 50th day.
A lot of chick mash, you see they're written chick and duckling mash. So they'll be eating a lot of chick mash. Some feeds company, some manufacturers, they will do pellets. If you can find pellets, perfect. Because mash tends to kind of choke the duck. It doesn't, if you can see the beak, it's not the same as chicken. So they tend to get choked. So they'll be biting the food and they'll go and drink water like that. But if you can give them pellets, that's perfect. Because they'll just be picking it's like they're picking maize. So you give them chick mash for around a month. And then from there you can give them growers. If you're rearing them for meat, you can give them chick mash and then normal growers for a week and then finisher. You can slaughter them at 49 days, that's 7 weeks. At around, if you feed them properly, you can slaughter them at around 3 kg, let's say, in that 49 days. The main thing that I've noticed with ducks, they want, because they're growing quite fast, they want a lot of calcium. So you need to make sure the feeds have enough calcium. Sometimes the feeds company, they'll compromise on ingredients because farmers, you want something cheap. So you find some manufacturers, they won't put enough of everything. And if they compromise on calcium, you see your ducks, they start limping. Some they won't even walk at all. So I would advise you to go and buy calcium. It's not expensive. It's around, DCP, it's around 100 shillings per kg. So you can add a little on your feeds. Make sure the feeds are free of aflatoxin. And it's not rotten food. They don't do well when it comes to rotten food. They will die. But that's the two main things. The other things, they're fine. So when you talk about diseases, fine. You will see, before a duckling dies of diseases, maybe a chicken would have died maybe a week ago.
Poultry feeds consume 70% of the money that most poultry farmers make. Harun has advice to farmers to learn how to mix their own feeds, as this will enable them to cut down on cost. The raw materials are locally available.
When you're mixing your own, you know exactly what is in the feed. The quality, if you compromise with the quality, it's up to you. It's your own feed, because you're not selling it. I don't think it's for your own birds. So I will advise people, just make sure you mix your own feeds. If you can do it, perfect. It's a business, unless you're doing it as a hobby. Here we have a few ingredients. So this one is lime. It's mainly a rock that's been grounded. We have some salt. It's called Magadi salt. It's normally red in color. very good for animal feeds. We have some maize germ. These are byproducts of maize. A lot of millers, flour millers, they will have them. Very good for feeds. We don't have any other ingredient left, but bran, wheat bran, we have rice pollen. For protein, we have fish meal, omena, soya, sunflower cake, cottonseed,